Welcome to my channel, and I'm back with you once again with another video of Microsoft Flight Simulator 24. Nowadays I'm exploring the Inibuilds Airbus A320, and in this regard I'm making a series of videos for the beginners so that it's easy for you to look for a specific information on my channel. Actually, it's very difficult to grab up all the information in one video. That's why I have multiple videos. The links are given in the description, so if you want to learn anything about this plane, you can just follow the link that you want. Now in this video, I will tell you how to perform an Autoland. I'm doing a short flight from Qatar to Dubai, and right now the plane is at 4,000 feet. There's a constraint, and still the plane has not started to climb. Now the climb has just started. Okay, so there is a very short distance between the top of climb and the top of descent. So I just wanted to start the video right now just to show you how you can prepare your plane for the Autoland. So Autoland is a very nice feature in this plane. You don't have to do anything, but still you can land it yourself. Okay, so first of all, let's go to this option, performance, and over here you have to actually enter the approach options. Now you have to basically enter the barometric pressure for the altimeter, the temperature, and the wind, and the transition altitude. Now first of all, let's get the QNH. And if I go to the electronic flight bag, you will see this is the meter for Dubai. The weather information, this is the time. The clouds, the temperature, 27/13, minimum, maximum. And this is the QNH for the altimeter, which is 1017. And then you have the temperature, 27 degrees. The wind is 320 degrees and 10 knots. And the transition altitude is 13,000 for runway 12 right, where I'm going to land. It is the altitude where I will be changing the barometric pressure from the standard to the given one, because right now the plane is climbing at I think at 12,000, maybe 13,000 feet for Qatar. You have to change the barometric pressure to standard. And during the descent, once I cross 13,000 feet, I have to change it from standard to the given one. Because, you want to have the right reading for the altimeter, because altitude in this plane is calculated based on the barometric pressure. Okay, now then you have the information for the minimums, baro and radio. If you look at the approach plate, you have multiple options shown over here. Category 3 DME, Category 2 DME, Category 1, and Localizer DME. DME actually stands for Distance Measuring Equipment. Category 3 is the highest level of precision, even just like 75 feet above the ground. If you have visuals of the runway and you can see it, you can land the plane, because the ILS Category 3 is really precise. This plane is capable of carrying a Category 3 ILS approach. Then Category 2 is less precise. That's why, from 75 it goes up to 100, and then Category 1 goes up to 220. It's a very small difference. If you're new to the flight simulation, obviously this will be confusing for you. But just to tell you that, there is a device localizer which directs the plane towards the runway. Your lateral alignment is also done with the runway, and plus your vertical path. So if you have to follow this heading 119, follow this path, the plane will follow this path. The localizer will make the plane follow that path, and then once the plane is at the final approach fix, it will follow this glide slope as per the given information. So because if your plane is equipped with Category 3 ILS, then it's really accurate. It will just take you straight to the runway, and at just like 75 feet or 100 feet above the ground, you just have to just look at the runway. If the plane is aligned with the runway and it is going to touch down at the runway at the right point, then you will proceed with the landing. Otherwise, you will go with the missed approach. By the way, there is also a video on my channel in which I have told you how to perform a missed approach. So that's why for this plane I will be using Category 3 DME, but right now you can see it's company given. So I'll go with this 100, and as you can see, RA is coming. Now once you're entering your minimum altitude, you have two options, either baro or radio. So if you enter the baro, basically it's your altitude calculation based on the barometric pressure, and radio is based on the radio signal sent by the plane. If the ground is even, then radio is a good option. Otherwise, you use baro. But over here, as you can see, RA is there, so that's fine. It's 100. So I can use radio for this runway. But if you want to use baro, just add 17 to it, because the runway elevation for 12 right is 17 feet above sea level. So that's why it's 117, because then it will be properly calculated. But we'll go with the radio one. And landing will be with the full flaps. As you can see, it's selected. Otherwise, I can also select configuration 3, and the approach speed is 134 knots. So now, as this information is there, I can just bring this page up, and as soon as I'm below 10,000, I can just activate approach, or maybe below 5,000, I can activate approach, but it's advisable to activate it below 10,000. What will happen once we activate approach? That's what I will tell you in this video. Because there are a few things really important for the Autoland. You have to be at the right altitude. Your target altitude for the descent is 3,000 feet. So once I will start the descent, I will set it to 3,000, because it is the altitude at which you will be intercepting the glide slope. And not the glide slope, the localizer. And plus then you will follow this path, and the plane will automatically do that. You really don't have to do anything. There are a few things, if you're new to the flight simulation, there are a few things in approach plate which you have to just consider. This is the distance coming for the runway. This is 9.4 IDBE. This is basically, IDBE is the identifier for the localizer, which is 109.5, the frequency. So 9.4 nautical miles before the runway, the descent will start towards the runway. And this is actually D6 is 6 nautical miles, 4 nautical miles, and 2 nautical miles. Then the different altitudes are given at 8 nautical miles, 2,620, 7 nautical miles, 2,290, and at 3 nautical miles, 990. This should be the height. So that's it. So this was regarding the approach plate. And let's make sure that over here in the RadNav option, the ILS frequency is there. And you can see IDBE, the identifier is there, and 109.5, it's there, and the course is 119. If any of the information is missing, then you can just enter it over here. Let's say if you want to enter IDBE again, so no need to enter the frequency, just the identifier, IDBE, and it will automatically pick it up. So that's how you basically enter the ILS frequency. And for the course, again, same. If the course is different, let's say it's 118, you enter the course like this, but I will just change it back to 119, because you really want accuracy. That's it. Now the plane is climbing up to 25,000 feet. I will wait for the top of descent, and then once I'm near the runway, then I will just take you from there. Now there is one last turn, and after this the final approach will start. So let's start preparing the plane for the approach and for the landing. And let's get rid of this error and go to the performance and just activate approach phase. Now what happens when you activate the approach phase? The speed of the plane actually reduces up to the approach speed, which is, if I am not wrong, this is 134 knots, 133 knots, okay? But the problem is this, that the plane speed cannot go below this green dot speed, because we don't have flaps. So as soon as you will start extending the flaps, the speed will start to reduce. So that's the best thing about activating the approach. So at some point during the descent, you have to activate it. I've read it many articles. Some people say it's advisable to activate it after 10,000 feet. Some at 5,000 feet, but it's totally up to you when you want to just activate the approach phase. Now you can see the altimeter is not adjusted, so I will just set the altimeter. The QNH is 1017, the barometric pressure 1017 on the both sides, and over here as well. That's it. And now we have to arm the ground spoilers, because as soon as I will activate the reverse thrust, the ground spoilers, which are actually the speed brakes for the planes, the flaps on the wings. This one, I'll just show you. If I activate speed brake, these are basically speed brakes, and during the landing, once I will activate the reverse thrust, they will also get activated. So that's why we call it the ground spoilers. So let's arm the ground spoilers. And below 10,000 feet, I turn on all the lights: runway turn-off lights, landing lights, and nose light, nav and logo, and all the lights are on. That's it. So let's press this button LS. As soon as I will press it, the plane will actually pick up the localizer frequency. The distance to this localizer will be given. Right now it's increasing because I'm going away from it, but once the plane takes this turn, then it will start reducing. So at this point, you can see there's a big turn. What if I try to reduce the speed and extend the flaps by one position, by one notch, take it to 1? That's okay. It's like this. It's not changing. So now this is the slat speed. The slats are actually at the front of the wing, so they also get extended. As you can see, the slats are extended. So till this speed, the plane can fly with the slats. If you want to go below the speed, then you have to further extend the flaps. That's it. So everything is okay right now. Now the plane is at the initial approach fix, almost near to it. Let's start extending the flaps further. Now you can see the localizer information is here, the identifier, the frequency, and plus these two diamonds. They're actually telling you whether the plane is aligned with the runway or not, and plus will it be following the glide slope. So this diamond is for your lateral alignment. If you want to correct the lateral alignment right now, you can just press this button localizer and it will automatically do this. But I will not be using localizer because it's only used for the lateral alignment. But for the lateral alignment and to follow this glide slope, you need to activate this button approach. So right now I can just press this button approach, and you will see now the plane has actually started to follow the localizer, and it's carrying out the lateral navigation and just correcting the course. And once this diamond is in the middle, the plane will actually start to follow the glide slope. Now the flaps are down by 2 position. I can go with position 3, further reduce the speed. Now the speed will reduce further. As you can see over here on the FMA, this part of the private flight display, localizer is shown, which means that the plane is actually now following the localizer. And now you can see this diamond is in the middle. Now this one also has started to move in the middle. As soon as I'm near the runway, it will be over here, and then the plane will start to follow that. This is the upper ECAM, which is electronic centralized aircraft monitor, and it has many warnings and so much information over here on the screen. So just make it a habit that just keep on looking at it, because it gives you a very good idea. So right now the seatbelt signs are on. Let's also get the fuel information. Now let's wait for it. 10 nautical miles to go. And now you can see it has automatically started to follow the glide slope. At this point, I can just press this button AP2, which is autopilot 2, and now the plane will actually go for the autopilot, Autoland. And now it's following the glide slope, it's following the localizer. So the lateral navigation is there, and plus your lateral navigation, vertical navigation, which is your vertical flight path. The plane is now following it, as you can see. It's properly aligned.
2,500.
Now you will keep on hearing these call out signs, and there will be an altitude at which you will hear minimums. This is your decision height, whether you want to go for the landing or not. You can just decide. Let's extend the full flaps. The plane will keep on following the glide slope. Just 30 feet above the ground, the plane will perform a flare. And you will see flare written over here. And flare, what happens is this, that the autopilot actually pitches up the nose a bit, because right now it's pitching down. So at this time you have to put the reverse your thrust levers in idle position. You will also hear retard. So you have to move the thrust levers to idle, and then once the plane touches the runway, then you have to activate the reverse thrust. This is the only thing that you have to do. The rest will be carried out by the autopilot. So let's lower the landing gears. As you can see, this error was there, landing gear down. So it's a good reminder. Otherwise, I would have been landing without the gears. So everything is good now. Let's wait for it. Everything is done by the autopilot. Category 3 dual. So category 3 ILS dual means autopilot 1 and 2 is active. Auto throttle is active. Flight director 1 and 2 is active. Yes, 1,000 feet to go. You can see the PAPI lights, 2 are red and 2 are white, which means the plane is following the glide slope. If 3 were white or all of them were white, it means you are at a higher altitude, and if 3 are red or all of them are red, it means you are at a lower altitude. So these PAPI lights are also a very good indication that if you're following the glide slope or not. Currently in the Microsoft Flight Simulator, the terminals for Dubai International Airport are not there. So it's all empty. But soon, I think, maybe next year, the new airport will be launched for Dubai.
400.
It's a bit far from this airport.
300. 200. 100.
Minimums at 100. Now you will
50,
see flare.
40, 30,
The plane
20,
will pitch up.
retard, 10,
Retard.
retard,
It's
retard.
time to basically put and reverse thrust active. And that's it. Now below 80, you can just deactivate the reverse thrust, use the brakes to stop the plane, and that's it. So that's how you perform an Autoland with this plane. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section, or if you want to add anything to this video, the comment section is there for you. Thank you very much for watching this video. Have a nice day. Hope to see you soon.